The Black Death. Between the years 1346 and 1353, one of the biggest pandemics in the history of Europe was produced, the Black Death. The first type of Black Death was registered during the times of Justinian, Roman Emperor, in the years 541 and 543 DC. The plague traveled from Ethiopia to the Egyptian port of Pelusium, and from there to the capital of Constantinople. The mortality it caused was terrible. There were days when 10,000 to 15,000 people were buried. Europe lost around 4 million people during those years. The second time the plague appeared, Europe was passing through an ice age that provoked a decrease of harvests, which made people more vulnerable. The origin of the Black Death was unknown, although there were all kinds of theories. Some blamed the appearance of eclipses, others blamed the recent earthquakes, but the real answer was far from the theories put forth. The disease was transmitted by an infectious agent called Yersinia pestis, which affected rats, who had fleas that through a simple sting infected anyone. During the Middle Age, rats and fleas lived among people in the streets, in their houses, on the ships. The massive infection was unavoidable. The plague was a zoonosis that took between 16 and 23 days to incubate, so that then elevated fevers, big bumps of the skin, and even large black spots appeared on the bodies of the infected. Patients used to die 3, 4, or 5 days after the symptoms appeared. There were two types of Black Death, the septicemic plague and the pneumonic plague. The first one was produced when the infectious agent got to the blood and produced the already mentioned black spots on the skin. The second one was produced when the agent reached the lungs. Both were 100% fatal. The plague originated in China. From there it passed to Central Asia, and then through the commercial flow of the Silk Road it reached Europe. The first affected place was the city of Kaffa. Then, because of traveling embarkations, the disease reached Constantinople, then Alexandria, until it reached Sicilia. In Genoa, the ships were not allowed to dock at the ports, so desperately they traveled to the south of France as ports and to the Aragon's crown ports. From these places, no one could stop its expansion in the rest of Europe anymore. Between 30 and 40% of Europeans died. I can't think of a good solution. Europe had really bad luck because of the Ice Age, and although people stayed at home, the rats would have infected them. There was no resources at the time to deal with the Black Death.